There is a place on this planet where the government will fire on you if you get within a few hundred meters of its shore. Not with rubber bullets. Not with a warning siren. With arrows, spears, and, if you're unlucky enough to survive those, a shallow grave that no one will ever come looking for, because no one is allowed to look. There's another place where the ground itself is on fire, and has been burning continuously since 1971, longer than most of you watching this have been alive. And there's a third place, so toxic, that the ground you're standing on can end your life before you've even finished reading the warning sign. Today, we're counting down the most dangerous, most forbidden, and most misunderstood places on Earth, and at the end, I'm going to show you the one place that scientists, governments, and even the most reckless adventurers on the planet agree, humans should never, ever set foot there again. Not because it's illegal. Because it might be the last mistake you ever make. Let's get into it. Number 1, Lhada Queimada Grande, Snake Island. 40 kilometers off the coast of Sao Paulo, Brazil, sits a small, unassuming island covered in tropical forest. From a boat, it looks peaceful. It is not. This is Ilha Queimada Grande, better known as Snake Island, and it is home to the golden lancehead pit viper, a species found nowhere else on Earth. Estimates on population density vary wildly, but even conservative studies suggest there is roughly one venomous snake for every square meter of usable land in some areas of the island. Here's the unexpected part, the golden lancehead's venom didn't evolve to be this powerful by accident. Scientists believe it developed unusually fast-acting, flesh-dissolving venom specifically because its main prey are migratory birds. A snake bites a bird, the bird takes flight, and if the venom isn't fast enough, that meal flies away and dies somewhere the snake can never reach it. So evolution solved the problem the only way it could, make the venom so potent that the bird drops out of the sky almost instantly. The Brazilian Navy has banned civilian visits entirely. The only humans allowed on the island are a small number of scientific researchers, and even they go in pairs, with a doctor on standby, because the nearest hospital is over an hour away by boat, and local accounts claim that's already too long for some victims. Local legend adds one more chilling detail. Fishermen say a family once maintained a lighthouse on the island generations ago, and the keeper, his wife, and their 3 children died after a swarm of snakes came through an open window one night. There is no verified record of this, but the story is exactly the kind of thing that keeps this island permanently off every travel itinerary on Earth. Number 2, the door to hell, Darvaza Crater. In the middle of the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan, there's a hole in the ground that has been burning, non-stop, for over 50 years. The story most people hear is that Soviet engineers were drilling for natural gas in 1971, the ground collapsed into a massive sinkhole, and, fearing the escaping methane would poison nearby villages, they lit it on fire, expecting it to burn out in a few weeks. That was over 5 decades ago. It has never gone out. Here's the unexpected twist. For years, nobody could even confirm this story was true, because Soviet-era records from the site were never properly documented. Some geologists now believe the crater may not even date to 1971 at all. Some researchers place similar drilling incidents in the region as late as the 1960s, and the exact origin story has essentially become folklore repeated so often it's treated as fact. What we do know is this: the crater is about 70 meters wide, temperatures inside can exceed 1000 degrees Celsius, and in 2022 the president of Turkmenistan actually ordered scientists to find a way to extinguish it, not for safety, but because the country is losing enormous amounts of valuable natural gas that just burns off into the atmosphere every single day, for free, forever. Adventurer George Kourounis is one of the only people to have ever descended into the crater itself, wearing a heat-resistant suit, to collect soil samples from the pit floor. What he found stunned scientists: microbial life, thriving in conditions that should be sterile, organisms that may help researchers understand how life could exist on other planets entirely. Number 3, Lake Natron, the lake that turns animals to stone. In northern Tanzania, there's a lake so caustic it can burn human skin and eyes on contact. The water's alkalinity is close to that of ammonia, driven by volcanic minerals from the surrounding region, and the surface temperature can reach up to 60 degrees Celsius. Here's the fact that made this lake famous. Photographer Nick Brandt documented dozens of animals, birds, bats, even larger mammals, perfectly preserved along the shoreline in eerily lifelike poses, as if they had simply turned to stone mid-flight. The calcium carbonate in the water essentially calcifies the bodies of animals that die there, preserving them in a way that looks almost supernatural. But here's the part almost nobody expects. This deadly lake is also one of the only breeding grounds on the entire planet for the lesser flamingo. Roughly 2.5 million flamingos, the majority of the world's entire population, nest on islands within this toxic lake specifically because the caustic water keeps predators away. The same conditions that dissolve the eyes of most animals are the reason an entire species has survived for generations. It's one of the most extreme examples in nature of a place being simultaneously a death trap and a sanctuary, depending entirely on what you evolved to survive. Number 4, Poveglia Island. Just off the coast of Venice, Italy, there's a small island that Italian law technically allows you to visit, but almost nobody does, and local boat captains have refused for decades to take tourists there after dark. During the Black Plague, Poveglia was used as a quarantine station. Ships suspected of carrying infected passengers were forced to dock there, and the sick were left on the island to die, often before symptoms were even confirmed. Historical estimates suggest as many as 160,000 people may have died on this small patch of land over multiple plague outbreaks spanning centuries. Here's the detail that surprises most people: soil samples taken from parts of the island have been reported to contain such a high percentage of human ash and remains from mass cremation that, according to some accounts, over 50% of the topsoil in certain areas is composed of human remains. In the 20th century, the island's abandoned buildings were converted into a psychiatric hospital. Former patients and staff reported hearing screaming at night, and one persistent, though unverified, legend claims a doctor at the facility performed unauthorized experiments on patients before eventually taking his own life by jumping from the hospital's bell tower. The island was put up for private lease in 2014. An Italian businessman won the bid to restore it into a hotel and vineyard, and the project was quietly abandoned before construction ever began. As of now, Poveglia remains empty. Number 5, the Zone of Alienation, Chernobyl. You already know the basics. In April 1986, a reactor at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Soviet Ukraine exploded during a safety test gone catastrophically wrong, releasing radioactive material across huge portions of Europe. What most people don't know is how close the world came to a second, far larger explosion. After the initial blast, engineers realized that molten nuclear fuel was melting through the reactor floor toward a pool of water used for the cooling system below. If that molten core had made contact with the water, the resulting steam explosion could have been powerful enough to destroy the other 3 reactors at the plant and, according to some nuclear scientists, potentially render most of Europe uninhabitable. 3 plant workers, Alexei Ananenko, Valery Bezbalov, and Boris Baranov, volunteered to dive into radioactive water in near-total darkness to manually open valves and drain the pool before the meltdown reached it. They succeeded. For years, rumors circulated that all 3 died within days from radiation exposure, but it was later confirmed that at least 2 of them lived for decades afterward. The exclusion zone today spans roughly 2,600 square kilometers and remains largely off-limits, though controlled tours are permitted in select areas. Here's the truly unexpected part: with humans almost entirely removed from the landscape for nearly 4 decades, wildlife has exploded. Wolves, lynx, brown bears, and wild horses now thrive inside the zone in numbers far higher than surrounding inhabited regions, leading scientists to describe Chernobyl as an accidental experiment in what happens when nature is simply left alone. Number 6, the Zone Rouge, France's forbidden red zone. This one almost nobody outside Europe has heard of, and it might be the most quietly terrifying entry on this list. After World War I, parts of northeastern France were so devastated by trench warfare, chemical weapons, and millions of unexploded shells that the French government drew a line on a map and declared certain areas, Zone Rouge, the red zone, permanently unfit for human habitation. That declaration was made over a century ago. Large sections of the Zone Rouge remain off-limits today. The soil in parts of this region contains extraordinarily high concentrations of arsenic, lead, and mercury from chemical shells, so high that in some tested areas, plants simply refuse to grow at all, over 100 years later. Farmers in surrounding regions still occasionally plow up unexploded ordnance, and a specialized French bomb disposal unit called the Department du Déminage has been clearing shells from this one region continuously since the war ended, and at the current pace, experts estimate it could take another several hundred years to fully clear the area. Some demining experts have died doing this work in the 21st century, defusing explosives from a war that ended generations before they were born. Number 7. The Danakil Depression. In Ethiopia, near the border with Eritrea, sits one of the most hostile environments on the planet, and one of the only places on Earth considered a genuine analog for the surface of another planet. The Danakil Depression regularly records some of the highest average year-round temperatures anywhere on Earth. It sits over an active volcanic rift where the Earth's crust is literally being pulled apart, and it's home to the Dawel hydrothermal field, a surreal landscape of neon yellow sulfur pools, acid ponds with a pH close to zero, and geysers, all sitting more than 100 meters below sea level. NASA and the European Space Agency have both sent researchers here specifically to study Dawel's extremophile microorganisms, life forms that survive in conditions so acidic and hot that they were, for a long time, assumed to be scientifically impossible. Some researchers believe studying them may be one of our best templates for understanding what alien life on Mars could actually look like. It is also, quietly, one of the most dangerous places on Earth to simply exist without extensive preparation. Heat, toxic gas, and near total isolation combine into a place where a single mistake can be fatal within hours. Number 8, the final place, North Sentinel Island. Which brings us to the last place. The one place that outranks every location on this list, not because of chemicals, radiation, or heat, but because of something far more absolute, total, deliberate, permanent isolation, protected by law and enforced with violence. North Sentinel Island sits in the Bay of Bengal, part of India's Andaman Islands. It is home to the Sentinelese, believed to be one of the last uncontacted peoples on Earth, having lived in complete isolation from the rest of humanity for an estimated 30,000 to 60,000 years. Here's what makes this island different from everywhere else on this list: it's not a natural hazard. It's a defended border. The Indian government has made it a criminal offense to travel within several kilometers of the island's shore, and the Indian Navy conducts regular patrols specifically to keep outsiders away, not to protect visitors from the island, but to protect the Sentinelese from the outside world. That distinction matters more than almost anything else in this video. The Sentinelese have no immunity to common illnesses like the flu or measles. Anthropologists and Indian officials widely believe that a single infected visitor making contact could wipe out the entire population within months, an extinction event for an entire distinct human culture, caused by nothing more than a common cold. And they have made their wishes about contact unmistakably, violently clear. In 2006, 2 fishermen whose boat drifted too close to the island were killed after coming ashore. In 2018, an American missionary named John Chow paid local fishermen to illegally bring him near the island, attempted to make contact and preach to the tribe despite repeated warning shots of arrows fired at him on previous approaches, and was killed the following day. Indian police were unable to even recover his body, because retrieving it would have required violating the same isolation laws designed to protect the tribe. Here's the detail almost nobody knows: the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, one of the deadliest natural disasters in recorded history, devastated coastlines across the region, and days later, an Indian Coast Guard helicopter flew over North Sentinel Island to check on survivors. A Sentinelese man emerged onto the beach and fired an arrow directly at the helicopter. The tribe had survived the tsunami largely unharmed, almost certainly because their knowledge of the natural world, reading the behavior of the ocean and animals, allowed them to move to higher ground before the wave hit. They needed no rescue. They wanted no contact, even in the face of catastrophe. This is why North Sentinel Island tops this list. Every other place we've covered is dangerous because of what the environment will do to you. North Sentinel is different. It's a place where the greatest danger isn't what could happen to you, it's what your presence could do to them. It's the only place on Earth where staying away isn't just about survival. It's about the survival of an entire people who have made it unmistakably clear, for centuries, exactly what they want. From venom-soaked jungle islands to a fire that's burned for half a century, from a lake that turns living creatures to stone to an island where a single visit could end a civilization thousands of years old, these are the places where the ordinary rules of travel simply don't apply. Which one of these surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments, and if you want part 2, covering forbidden underwater locations and abandoned military zones nobody's allowed to enter, hit subscribe, because that video is coming next. Stay curious. Stay safe. And I'll see you in the next one.